Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We're here with another Alliance War video. This is going to be Alliance War Season 59, Number 10, and AOH has matched up against Masked Titans, or I think it's MSKTT. And we have a pretty normal team on my main this war, but we actually have a 9-fight war on my alt. Every single fight with Hood, so that's pretty cool. So, we have this Weapon X on the stun immune node where you just have to reparry all the time. He doesn't really do anything special here. I decided to throw my SP1 into him instead of into block like I normally would. And the reason I'm going to do that is because specifically in the matchup against Weapon X, and this is unique to Weapon X, not for most champions, the protection is going to have a chance to be removed because you need to wait out his stun immune phase anyways. So normally when I take these nodes with Shocker, you'll see me go for SP1s into the block on this node, or also I guess technically if I were to do it on node 38, but I don't really do that very often unless there's like a really obvious Shocker matchup like an Onslaught. That would be a very, very easy fight. But yeah, this is gonna kill. And that was a minute-long fight. I went for an extra special one in the middle of the fight, and I honestly don't think that was necessary. I think one SP1 would have killed with the class advantage, but it's okay. And a couple videos I was talking about how one of the times that I take Nick Fury, it's just going to be the worst Nick Fury AI I've ever seen. That's this fight. This is a rank 3 Nick Fury, and I don't know what it is, but every other time that I took this fight this season, it was against a rank 4. Every single time. Except for this time. And for some reason, rank 3 Nick Fury just loves being a huge asshole. And he is just absolutely not going to play ball with us this entire fight. He does absolutely nothing in this fight but spam special 1 and not let me intercept him. Like, he never goes for a light intercept. I think maybe once the entire fight. And as you can see, so far in the fight, he has had 2 chances to throw special 1. Both times he's thrown it instantly. He is yet to go for a single intercept. And I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. He has not gone for a single intercept. That doesn't really count as an intercept. Something like that, just a stand-up, that would not actually remove ebb and flow intercept. It's just kind of a punish. But there, he finally goes for it. I'm like, okay. The fight's going a little bit better. Now, normally at this point, the fight's almost over. Like, he is ticking down in second life, but because he took so long and he was so annoying in first life, it's taken a good 20 seconds at least longer than it usually does. Here we're going to go for a special 1, and unfortunately, it does not give him enough charges to trigger the unblockable. Had we given him enough charges to trigger the unblockable, and once again him not going for an intercept, then we wouldn't have had an issue with him throwing special 1, because he will never throw it if it would give him enough charges to remove his own unblockable. There, he goes for a... I don't really know what that was, because I thought in the moment that I'd timed the intercept correctly. Clearly I had not. There we land a nice naked intercept to clean the fight off, but had I gotten hit even one more time, I could have died there, depending on what hits he threw. So, happy to get out of it, but that is the worst AI I've ever seen in that fight. And I think this is my 5th time taking it. It's either my 4th or my 5th, I don't know. But we have some more Angela fights this war. I'm fairly certain there was just the one Shocker fight. I don't think I've taken a single other Shocker fight. Unless I'm tweaking, I don't know. But Attuma on this node. This is node, what, 19? I've taken this like 4 or 5 times. It's really, really common. And generally speaking, I'm either taking the next node with Angela or Shocker, depending on who is placed there. So I take this fight quite a lot. My preferred option for it is Angela, because she also obviously has her regeneration to help counteract some of the Thorns damage. I also had a combat regen on, just because I didn't feel like wasting an invuln on the Nick Fury fight. I mean, I thought it would have been a waste. I guess technically it would not have been a waste given how many hits I took to use an invuln, but if we're considering how the other fights all went, it would have been a waste, because statistically speaking, the chances of me having such a bad fight were very, very low. And I mean, bad as in depending on AI. But yeah, we still end that fight very healthy, 92%. I don't think we're even going to heal going into the next fight. This is Iron Man Infinity War on Buffet. It does take a little bit just because he has a lot of armor ups, but this fight is going to go down pretty well. As soon as we crit a few times, we're going to be shutting down Buffet for the rest of the fight. So yeah, we're going to lose our first buff that we get off the start of the fight, but as soon as, I don't know why I said that, as soon as we get to a bar of power, we are going to get an extra buff. And then now, at this point with that special one, we have enough buffs that for the rest of the fight, we are going to be shutting down Buffet, and it is not something we have to worry about. So there, probably could have gone for a heavy attack, but I didn't. It's fine. And the fight is going to speed up quite a lot now that we know we never have to worry about Buffet again. We can just do a lot of hits, and yeah, he does have that small regen. It's actually pretty potent. The node regen, it's like plus 2,000 every second, and it's actually there pretty often, so it is pretty annoying, but you know, we're gonna deal with it. Land a SP1 here, nice. That actually reduces the regen quite significantly, more than I assumed. But that was a really nice heavy crit. I think we're gonna go for another. No crit there, but that's fine. No crit again. Wonderful. And there might be a slight issue with this fight if he gets unblockable, but I think he's going to die before he ever gets unblockable. And then there, he crosses the threshold to start power gaining right as he gets an armor up, which is just so unfortunate for me. But there we land a nice crit. And then here I think we're just going to bait the special one and then counter with a SP1. Oh no, just a relic. So yeah, we did actually heal. We ended that fight with more health than we went in with. So, I'll take it. So now we have our one mini-boss. I'm pretty sure it's 38 Shocker that we're taking with Angela. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say it is. I don't know. I could have also taken Fam with Angela. Okay, no, it is Shocker. Cool. Alright, this is a really easy fight. Shocker on this node doesn't really do anything. I mean, this is the same fight that you guys saw me take a special 3 to the face in 2 wars ago. However, we're not going to do that this time. I believe I did put a Wags here. Yeah, I did put a Wags here just so I have the longer parries, which will allow me to parry heavy, as normally you would not be able to parry heavy him. And yeah, it's just going to allow us to parry the whole fight. You can see how hard we're hitting. We're going to try to let him not throw a single special one if we can avoid it. That would be really nice. Because as you can see, 18 hits in, he's already down to 60% health. I did practice the heavy counter of the special 2, which is really easy. Again, trying not to let him throw a special 1, trying to push him to special 2, re-parry for openings, and then here we're going to throw the special 1 perfectly timed so that it removes the protection, and then there at this point, combo into striker into combo into special. I know will definitely kill, and he does die halfway through the second combo, so could have done an extra 10% damage there most likely. So now we're going to be boosting up on my alt account. That's actually all the fights we have on our main. And we have a 9-fight Hood War. And hopefully this goes well, because we have some pretty tough fights in this one. In fact, both of my Section 1 fights are actually pretty awkward because they're not standard Hood matchups. Like, they're good Hood matchups. But we're going to be starting out on Path 2 here. And this is Mangog. If Mangog ever throws a special, I get a neutralize on me that would stop my invisibility from triggering. And also, there is the node where if you do the same hit twice in a row, then you're going to make, what is it? You're going to gain buffs. You're going to put buffs on yourself. And that is going to give him prowess when it gets failed by neutralize. That's how it works. So, yeah, we had that one special. We just had to wait out the neutralize before we could cycle our L2s. Now we're just going to cycle a couple L2s, keep alternating hits. I found that with Hood, if you do a medium light combo, consume your first miss, and then just block straight out of the light attack, the enemy will never throw their special. Like, it's so rare that it's consistent enough to go for. So that's what I've been doing on stuff like Mixmaster. Like last war I took Mixmaster Dark Phoenix, and instead of doing medium light medium combos, because there's always the risk of her throwing a special 1 or a special 2 and you not being able to punish it with a medium because that was the last hit you landed. You can do medium light combos, and as long as you have power backs on, that's going to be enough to keep cycling your L2s. We had a regen boost. I'm going to throw it on here just because I wanted to save potions. I was actually getting really low on potions this season, and this dude would not throw a heavy attack to start the fight, which means we are going to start with a root on us. So I am going to dash back, trigger my invisibility because I do not feel 100% secure dealing with his heavy attack. And case in point right there, we get hit by the heavy attack the first chance we have. Here I think we are going to get rooted again. Gonna dex the heavy, and then we're just gonna wait this out. Lucky that right there he didn't hit into my block, because he actually could have pushed me to special 3 and really messed up the rotation of this fight. So here we're gonna throw our striker. The whole point of throwing your striker there is to wait out time so that my special attack was during the root. And now that he's at 20%, I know for sure my heavy attack will kill. So we go for the heavy, and it does take him down. I generally wait until he's a little lower than most champions, just because if your heavy attack doesn't kill him, then he is going to go unstoppable and hit you, which, I mean, that's not a problem if you just triggered your invisibility from an SP2 or by dashing back and activating it, but obviously there's concern there. So now we have Korg. And Korg on Fisticuffs is going to be a little bit awkward because I do not have the ability to parry, and I do not have the ability to activate invisibility, which means I'm going to have to naked intercept. Naked light intercept. And we actually decided that it was worth the risk to start out this fight with a light. And then there, yeah, we hit another beautiful light intercept. And what I'm going to be doing in this fight is I'm going to be applying as little bullets as possible. And the reason is because, if you can see, I'm very low on bullets. So every single chance that I possibly get, I am just going to hit him with a heavy. And here my Fisticuffs is about to go away. I have to make sure he's not unstoppable so I can activate my buffs. But I decided to just throw the L2 because I know he's not going to let me. And had I activated another dex there, he would have gone unblockable and unstoppable once again. I don't know why I didn't counter that. I think I just wanted to go for more heavies. Yeah, that's probably it. So we're just going to be landing tons of heavies until we get enough buffs back, because I'm not really concerned about time, because this war's not going to get decided on time. So I'm just trying to get my bullets back, trying to play this really slow. Here we're going to counter with a heavy, even though I know I'll take the Thorns damage, because I'm sure that Hood's regeneration is going to heal me back up at some point in this fight. But yeah, going for the L2 with invisibility is a little bit rough, just because we will be losing bullets and also dealing so much damage that we then get to land fewer heavies during the fight. But we actually got a fair amount of bullets back and ended with full health, so I'm pretty happy with how that went. Bit of a strange matchup on paper, but worked out fine. And now we have Maestro. We have Maestro on Conflictor and the Prowess buff. I'm actually not going to take advantage of that node by giving him extra prowess right before I was to throw my special, but that is a completely valid strategy. Like, theoretically, right before throwing a special, you could go medium, light, give him 2 buffs, and then instantly remove them with your L2, and boom, there's an extra 2 free bullets at literally 0 cost. Not going to do that in this fight, but if I were desperate, that is something I could do. I'm very comfortable in the Hood Maestro matchup. It's something I do very often because you are going to make his buffs not be able to trigger. His buffs cannot be failed by ability accuracy, but Fate Seal also just prevents buffs from triggering, and it has nothing to do with Fate Seal. So, yeah, that went down pretty well. We have a little bit of a strange fight. Not really like a hard one, but kind of puzzling. I don't understand the placement. We have Bastion on 37, and I don't know what Bastion is doing here, because what does he have to do with regen? And also, what's the danger if he roots you? Like, that's the other part of this node. I don't know. I really tried to understand this placement, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I've done this exact matchup with Hood. I'm just gonna go do this with Hood. Like, literally, that's the simplest way I can put it. Hood counters him. I mean, he's not a defender, but if he were a defender, Hood would counter him. And it's just not something I ever have to worry about. So I think I go for a heavy here. Yeah, doesn't kill, and then we're just gonna stand up SP2. Had he blocked that, I would have had my striker ready to end the fight anyways. But yeah, that goes down. Very safe fight. Now we will go in for our next fight, which is going to be Mixmaster Medusa. We were actually sending a rank 4 Tigra this war. It was Truth, if you know Truth the YouTuber, shout out, amazing player. And I gave him the choice. I said to him, I'm bringing Hood, you're bringing Medusa. The two of us are going to take Mixmaster, or sorry, I said I'm bringing Hood, you're bringing Tigra. The two of us are going to take Mixmaster Medusa and Power Focus to Thanos. You choose whichever you want, and I'll take the other. He chose Thanos, so I said, okay, I'll do Medusa. I have no problem with that, because I personally think this is the easier of the two fights, but for Tigra, I understand the concern of this potentially going wrong, although I'm sure it would have been fine. And yeah, we did finish the fight at almost the exact same time, which was cool. I still have 2 more fights because we are clearing together. I have to take this, and then I have to take one more fight before he can get to his fight, and then I'll take the fight after that. But this is going to be node 45 Killmonger. This is the hazard shift node. Killmonger's a pretty common placement on this node, and we actually get pretty awful hazard shift RNG. 4 of our first 6 hits when it's only a 40% chance to activate, and yet it triggers 67% of the time. I decided to go for an L2 here without my invisibility. In hindsight, that was definitely a mistake. However, I got good enough power steals that it didn't end up mattering. Like, I got good enough RNG on the power steals that, yeah, like, we still got back to our special in time. And then there we get another power steal. So this was like the god RNG power steal fight. I don't know why the game decided to give it to us. Also, if you didn't know, Killmonger's an insanely easy champion to step back. So you can step back with basically everyone as long as you dex the medium attack and get in your hits very safely. And that is something I did several times in this fight to get around having to parry because of Conflictor. So that's a pretty simple way to deal with that. We have 2 fights left. The first of the 2 is going to be node 47 Dark Phoenix, and I don't get it. I think there's some good nodes for Dark Phoenix, some threatening ones that can really discourage Hood from taking it. This ain't one of them. Like, this is the Hood node. If you place anyone here that is not a Hood counter, like a Bullseye, it's just going to get absolutely run through every single time. We're already at max bullets from the Killmonger fight, so I don't even need to go for some extra heavies at the start. We're just going to cycle this girl down. This fight was so satisfying to do. That's 1 SP2. Going to go for another one. Oh, back to another one. Let's throw a third special too. Oh, wait, we're back to another one. Okay, let's throw that. Like, that's how this fight felt. In the moment, I was like, if you're just going to keep giving me SP2s, I'm going to keep throwing them. Because bullets are not going to be a concern for my final fight of the war. And yeah, Phoenix threw 0 special attacks. That was a rank 4 Dark Phoenix, by the way. And was a 30-second nuke with Hood. Truth did a very good job of taking 49 Onslaught with Tigra. And also, the reason I'm cutting out a bunch of stuff here is because I had to switch back and forth between accounts. Because the WAGs that was applying the pre-fight for both 49 Onslaught and the boss was my Wags on my main account. That's where the other 2 pre-fights went. The first one went to the Shocker. And we're taking another Zola boss. It's a rank 4 Zola boss. I've done this twice this season. This is my 4th boss of the season, my 3rd Zola boss, and here he didn't want to go in for my heavy. But this one's going to go a little bad. The start of the fight is fine, but I will point out, and it'll be very obvious when I make the mistakes. There's one mistake that I make in this fight that I didn't even notice happening until after, when I rewatched the fight. I had no idea it happened during the fight. Here he throws a special one into my block when I was trying to get him with a heavy, but luckily he ends under 20 charges, so I can safely go for a heavy attack. Here it is. He goes for an L2. The second last hit clips me, and I don't notice. I did not know that hit me because I didn't look at my combo meter, and my heavy still landed. Like, I didn't charge a new heavy. That was the only heavy I charged, and it landed. So I'm like, oh, obviously I'm fine, right? Like, nothing happened. And then I look at my health, and I'm at 54%. And at this point, I'm like, what? Where did I lose half my health? So what happened was Hood's miss failed on one of the hits of Zola's SP2, and I took one hit to the face, and it doubled the degen. So I got double the degen damage on me, and yeah, that's going to be the mistake that ends the fight. Unfortunately, I took a 5-hit combo to the face while trying to intercept. I don't know why I would try to intercept in that situation, but that was what I did, and unfortunately, there is no recovering from that, because I need to keep throwing special 2s or I'm going to die from the tactic, and I did not have invisibility there, so this special 2 is going to push into special 3, and unfortunately, I am going to go down. So, that is the first time that I've died to that fight this season. It is the 3rd time I've taken it, as I said a bit earlier. We are going to go back in, clean up the fight, but obviously just really unfortunate. Hood into Zola boss is a really good matchup, and I've yet to do it justice. So far, the first time I took a combo and I ended at like 60%. The second time went a little bit better, and I think I ended around 70%, but I still took 2 or 3 hits in the fight. And the third time I died. So I've just not been able to produce a clean fight. I know the matchup well. I've practiced and practiced countering the special 2 with my heavy. I know it's 2 dashbacks. Like, I know it's 2 dashbacks. And when I did that fight earlier today, I only did 1. And that's why I got clipped by the second last hit of the special 2. And I actually just don't know why I would do that. Because I know. I literally know better. Like, unironically, I know better. And I still did it wrong. So, just wasn't locked in the moment. My practice did not help that much. But it did not end up mattering. We lost by 2. And yeah, it sucks. But I did clear pretty late. So, I don't know. I still feel bad, obviously, because we would have won on time. So theoretically, had I not died and one more person had also not died, we would have won the war. But we lose, and we are now 4-6 on the season. And if you've been watching the videos this season, we started out the season 4-1, which means we've now lost 5 consecutive wars, which is just absolutely ridiculous. At this point, we have fallen out of Masters for the first time this season, because even when we were 4-5, we were still in Masters. We've now fallen out of Masters as of the end of War 10, and we do need to win both of our last 2 wars to clutch Masters, which we really, really want. That is our goal this season. So, like I said, we are now 4-6 on the season, and I just got my 5th death of the season, which sounds bad, but you have to understand that that's combined between my 2 accounts. I have 3 deaths on my main, 2 deaths on my alt. My PSR this season is 128 out of 133 fights soloed, or 96%. My main is at a PSR 59 out of 62, or 95%, and my alt is at 69, nice, out of 71 or 97%. And as of this war, my Deathless streak is completely reset to 0 because I did die to my final fight. Although my main account actually has a nice 35 fight Deathless streak going on that we'll hope to continue until the end of the season and into next season, but we'll see what happens. So that is going to be all. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.